Weekend blues turn us red. Let's have a look where the market might be going this coming week. Okay, gang, Bitcoin got rejected at that 17,500 level, just couldn't get above it. You see the squiggle there? That's what I wanted to see for us to get really excited and see that altcoin market really move up. It is such a tease, isn't it? It gives us a bit of a glimmer that we might get an altcoin season and then just smacks us back on the head, rolls back down. So Bitcoin's down about 0.7% today, while the altcoin market is anywhere between 2 to 5%, which is pretty stock standard. Bit disappointing still, but overall, still think a lot of the majors and a lot of the larger market caps that have been quite strong of late still look quite nice structurally. But right now, this does appear to be a bit of a leverage flush out back down to a level maybe down through the 200, down to maybe 110. That's just probably as low as I would expect it to go. Any deeper than that, and I think we get a little bit concerned here. You can see a bit of a right shoulder, the head, the neckline's through here, and I think Bitcoin can definitely head towards at least that 112,600 region, around that 200, where I would expect us to bounce. Again, if we don't bounce, then we're going down to that deeper corrective zone, maybe down to 106, 100,000. So overall, I wouldn't lose your shirt over this. I think this is typical weekend doldrums where we come into the US Open hours, which generally happens at the end of Monday with the futures, and then Tuesday is where we hopefully get a bid. If we don't, then we're likely following this path throughout the week. Some big rotations happening throughout the market. Ethereum was rolling higher, of a lot of strength with the ETFs behind it. It did appear this week that Solana got a very strong bid on the back of that Ethereum momentum. That is now shaking out of Solana as well. And I think Sol, the levels to get really interested again are likely back towards the, you can just see how important this level through here was for Solana, down at the 0.786. So it's around that 213, 215 level. You might be looking a bit too greedy there. 222, that type of region is very, very interesting, but this is a clear drop down and break. So we're going to drop and splash into this zone. And I think this area through here is going to be an area of high interest for buyers. Again, these structures don't look too bad. These are resistance that have flipped support, breaking out, couldn't make an all-time high, of course, and coming back down to really put a lid on it. If we just shift on over to something like Hyperliquid, very similar position. We're just seeing the derivatives players come back down and really hunt for your stop losses underneath those support levels, or else the resistance, all-time high resistances that have flipped support only recently. You can see through there, through that zone there, that flip, we come back down, we're dropping just beneath that resistance level to try and wipe out some of those stop losses, which causes max pain on the market. Now, if we're looking at Hyperliquid, it is an interesting choice because we can drop down into this region. In fact, I'd probably say that $45 might be the splash zone for Hyperliquid here, because we can sort of expect it to go a little bit lower. If it does rebound here, then we want to get back above that $50 level. But what I don't want to see us is sort of find an acceptance level beneath $50, where we drop down, we close tomorrow, close the next few days underneath, come back underneath, find resistance, and then we fall down into that 43 zone. That would be logical to me. Hyperliquid, when we're talking about rotations, we've seen that Aster, new kid on the block, which Mr. Beast also, I believe I read that he deposited about $140,000 on this exchange. So crypto native exchanges are kind of like the in vogue thing right now. I don't know how long that narrative will go, but Hyperliquid and Aster are kind of those two new sexy things at the moment. And Aster is very clear. As soon as Aster came out on the market 72 hours ago-ish, maybe a little bit later, I can't be exactly sure, but I've seen it pop up on Twitter at a clip. As soon as that did come out, we've seen Hyperliquid's strength begin to wane, and we're seeing it move into Aster. So, and there's not a lot of fresh liquidity coming in here, which is why I'm really hesitant in calling a direction in the market one way or the other in the short term, because of those flows that are likely to come in the US. But there's no denying it does look a little bit weak across the board, and we just haven't had that impetus to push us higher. So in those situations, you lean to the bearish side, you want to grab that liquidity a little bit lower. But ultimately, if we just pivot on over, and I'll give you this last little bit of nugget of insight, is gold. Watch gold. As long as gold is moving higher, I have no problems in thinking Bitcoin will follow it over the next 4 weeks to a month. It generally leads Bitcoin, especially these environments, sniffing out further debasement, more printing, more debt, and Bitcoin loves that too. It's the lagging but fastest horse, which should catch up to gold, sooner rather than later, which hopefully propels us up towards 150. So that's what I'm looking for, guys. The back end of the year, I think, is going to be incredibly positive. It's just got to get through this little phase of uncertainty and I guess pull back, maybe working out some leverage. So have a wonderful day. Catch you soon. Bye.